Hello everybody, this is Carmskin018 and I just uploaded the my thoughts video for episode 139 of Fairy Tail. This is gonna be my thoughts on episode 140. And after that I'm gonna have essentially 35 more episodes. And don't worry, I will try and get some of the other shows uploaded as well. I'm not just gonna do Fairy Tail, because for those of you who are not Fairy Tail fans, which I don't know how many there are, just let me know what you're wanting to watch, and I'll try and get some more recorded for that show. Out of the ones I'm already doing, because I haven't finished uploading for Yuri on Ice, so I finished that, and I finished the Fairy Tail, obviously. I haven't finished uploading for that yet. I'm currently doing Fairy Tail, it'll be Fairy Tail 2014, Naruto, Dragon Ball, Black Butler. I haven't finished uploading for Toradora yet. My Hero Academia, but that one's already, done for the moment. Oran High School Host Club, Cinnamon Crystal. Any others? Oh, Blue Exorcist is one. The Yuri on Ice, I finished it, but I haven't, finished uploading it yet. I've already got all the episodes edited and recorded, edited, and compressed and all that. I just gotta upload them. Let's see. I think that is the main ones on this channel. If I missed any, feel free to let me know. But anyway, yeah, the Irration safes popped up, and they put their seals on the Infinity Clock, and apparently whoever does that owns the clock. And the reason they didn't come and get it themselves is because they're creatures of darkness, as according to, I think Angel said that. And they were essentially not able to touch the clock. So, yeah, they had to rely on others to find it for them. And I actually realized something when I was, getting through this arc. And I think I mentioned it in a later episode, but we know the Archbishop hasn't been sleeping well lately, and it's always essentially the same dream. But I was thinking later on in a future episode that he was being controlled by Midnight in them to do his bidding, and that's how this whole thing got started. That's why Byro was asked to find the clock pieces, because once they were all found, they would end up merging instead of it being sealed away. Anyway, the others obviously try and stop them. Doesn't go well because those guys have 7 years of strength on them, and their magic is a bit different, because we know Angel had celestial spirits, but she doesn't have the gold ones anymore, because Lucy's got them now. So instead of her having that, she has angel magic. I don't think we've ever seen that before, but apparently I'm guessing from what I've heard and what I've seen in, future episodes, the coins she offers up are essentially, I think, years on her life. I would assume one gold coin is like a year. So, yeah, she offers up the coins and summons an angel. I don't know if they're actually angels. If they actually are angels, please let me know, because I have no idea if they actually are. And essentially, anybody who faces her gets their butt kicked. And Racer's ability is still speed, but it's not the slowing time down thing that he was doing before. And it appears he's more animalistic, I guess. More savage, more wild, like a wild animal at this point. And Cobra doesn't have his eye. He gave up his right eye. And essentially his, I guess, mind reading ability, he turns the enemy's thoughts against them instead of being crippled by it like he was with Natsu. Let's see. Aragorn has the ability to control the weather instead of just the wind. Let's see. I think Midnight essentially is the same, and he's also got a bit of Zero's magic, from what I've seen. Let's see, and that stupid slot machine guy is still there, causing trouble. And while they're actually fighting the Irrational Sense, Dan tries to use a shield to send the attacks back at him. Doesn't work. It actually breaks the shield, I think. Sends him flying back. And Dan actually tells Byro and Coco to make it to the escape area, you know, so they can get out. And tells them to go without him, which is actually surprising and yet not surprising for Dan. It's surprising since they were once since he was the enemy, but he seems more like a chivalrous guy, even though he's essentially girl crazy. From what I know. Let's see. Anyway, everybody essentially gets their butts handed to them in this episode because while they may have beaten the Irrational States before, they don't know completely their abilities now that the 7-year gap has happened, and they're also 7 years stronger than Fairy Tail at this point. And it seems that happens a lot when they face a new enemy. They usually get their butts kicked because they don't know what the enemy can do, obviously. So, yeah. Until they, obviously have more knowledge about their abilities, they're going to get their butts kicked. And because of all this, the tomb collapses, and they essentially get rescued by Blue Pegasus. And this actually is mentioned, I think, in either an earlier episode or earlier in the earlier episode or earlier in this episode. But I think what was her name? The little girl that Bisca and not Radis, I think it, what was his name? Her husband, their kid, she was reading the Key of the Starry Heavens and she said they got it wrong. She was actually smart enough to realize that they were not supposed to gather the pieces of the clock. And Lucy actually realized this while she was talking to Michelle in the ruins thing that we saw in Loki's backstory with the whole Evolve of a Karen thing. And she apologized to everybody because it was essentially her fault. She actually blames herself for it. Because if she had realized it at the time, they would have done something different, and this couldn't have happened. But obviously nobody blames her because, it was something that would have happened. They would have had to essentially confront the Irrationales anyway. Let's see. And Lucy actually, while they're in there, Lucy keeps having this vision of the little girl from the book telling her not to do it or something very creepy, and nobody else can see this. Essentially, I think the little girl's giving her a warning to not make the infinity clock, because essentially bad things will happen. And they ended up not listening, and the bad stuff happened. Anyway, the interesting thing is that when you see Cobra, usually, with the Irrationales arc, you saw him with Cubelios. Cubelios is not with him. We actually get a little bit of information on this a little bit later in the show, and obviously in Original Fairy Tail, because this is going to be obviously dealt with. Anyway, that's about all I have to say. If I missed anything, feel free to let me know. If you have anything you want to say about this episode, feel free to go in the comment section and talk about it. I don't mind. I like reading you guys' comments. And I hope to see you guys next time.